headed out of South Dakota, headed into Montana, north of I-90. And I think I'm gonna go up, like, cut the tippy-tip northeastern corridor of Wyoming to cross from South Dakota into Montana. I think that's what the map said. And then try to find a campsite outside of Bozeman. And I didn't book one just in case. I just felt like maybe I'll just keep driving out west. I have a campsite booked Friday and Saturday night. Yeah. It's called Lost Moose Campground. Last night was Grizzly Bear Campground. No bears sighted. And then Friday, Saturday is at Lost Moose Campground in Idaho. Can't wait for that one. And then in between, I thought Bozeman is the halfway point. So I looked at a lot of different campgrounds. No, that's bear country. I'm a bear spray. And I thought, well, let's try a first come first serve campground. I haven't done that in a while, and it's all new. We're just winging it. So I forgot what lesson is it. Lesson 155 in A Course in Miracles. That's what this is about. Is I will let him lead the way. I think that's what it says. Maybe it says I'll step aside and let him lead the way. Either way, what it's really about is recognizing, like, when I really liked the beginning of this lesson. Again, it was a really long one with a lot of words that a lot of the words in these lessons don't really resonate with me. It's just like circular talking. I think what it's doing is because it's like speaking to such a broad audience. I think what it's doing is it repeats in a lot of different ways, so that because we all have different perceptions, and we're all at different points along whatever journey we're on unique journeys. So I think it does that for a reason. It has to, like, say, well, we're gonna get you one way or another to understand what this is about. So the part that I really loved was when it talked about, like, when you're on this path of seeking your true self and waking up to who you truly are. That's such a vague thing, but it means recognizing really that this whole world is an illusion. And you can think of it like anything we really want, like, oh, you gotta have this job, or I gotta have that, my family's gotta look like this. And it's like that striving for what you think something should really look like grasping for things in this material world is the illusion. You can have all those things without attachment. And I think the attachment piece is really what the illusion is, which was really a Buddhist philosophy underneath it all. So anyway, what I loved is how it said, when you wake up, let's just call it that, when you wake up, have a spiritual awakening, awaken to your true nature, awaken to realize this is all an illusion. So when you wake up, people will see you as that. Like the people who are also awake, it's like you'll recognize each other as that. And then, but the people who aren't awake will see you and recognize you as them not awake, like in their reality. Because this whole awakening thing, it's not even a concept, right? It's not even in their awareness at all. So it's interesting that, and that they're living in I say they, but it's like there are days where I'm still living in the land of illusion. Wasn't that a Phil Collins song? I gotta listen to that. So yeah, these get rambly when I'm road tripping because I have nowhere to be except for right here. So I love that because it's really paints a beautiful picture of how, like, we're all just seeing the world as we are. And when I feel awakened to my true self, some days more than others. So when I'm feeling awakened to this reality, I see everyone that way, regardless of if they are or not. I don't have to ask people, are you awake? You know, sometimes you can tell the words they use or the look in their eye, but it doesn't matter. I just see the world as I am, and I treat them as if I don't treat them any differently. So that really wasn't, that was part of a lesson. I just reflected on that a little deeper. And then, but it's really about when it says I will let him lead the way, this whole idea that I've been grappling with specifically in A Course in Miracles, is still the language around him and God, like really putting these humanistic pronouns to this God essence. And so I think what even it even said right there in the lesson, it's really about what it was getting at is the him is really the true nature. We're going to follow that true nature. We're going to follow that idea. It's not even an idea that we're following, but it's not a him. It's following our own heart in that seeking of true nature and recognizing true nature. Not even seeking, but just recognizing our true nature. So that's what we're following. Is there's nowhere to be, there's nowhere to go, there's nothing to attach to. We're just seeing things as we are. And when we're awake to our true nature, we see everything as that, and that's all there is. There's nothing else to strive for. And that's what I liked about this, is I will let him lead the way, meaning I don't have to try. I can be a follower and just say, this is my reality and it's beautiful and there's nothing I need to attach to. Nothing. And I think a lot of people, because I've heard this literally spoken back to me by loved ones who I tried to talk to about this, and then I realized you can't talk to people about this. I could talk to the internet, and then the people who find it will be the ones who like but when you try to talk to people in your real life, your reality, physical life, it's hard. Like I said, unless you know, because it's not gonna make any sense whatsoever, and it can be a little frustrating for both parties, and sometimes disheartening. And we got past that, luckily, because that part's no fun, to feel like you're alone on this journey, because you're really not. But there was a period where I was like, I need somebody who's like really important to me to be on the same page here. And that's not important. That was just attachment too. I don't know how I got down this path, but I think part of this lesson was about that. Like, you don't attach to that either. Just, I was almost gonna miss my turn. What's really funny is yesterday morning at like not even 1 a.m. yet, I left really early my house, and I was like saying my little prayer to the universe, like, let me have a safe journey, and make it, like, have everything go smoothly, nobody gets hurt, blah, blah, blah. This was all just in my head as I was leaving, and I was heading out my little side road, my neighborhood road, to turn to head out of town. And the very first turn I could possibly make, I turned to the wrong direction. And I was like, this does not bode well. So anyway, that has nothing to do with this lesson either. So I'm gonna go. So that was lesson 155. Bye.